All right, we've got some brand new video that shows a reporter tussling with security after repeatedly asking New York City Mayor Mike Bloomberg to answer a tough question on gun control. Mayor Bloomberg, as you may know, is an outspoken anti-gun critic. Watch this really closely.
In the spirit of gun control, will you disarm your entire security team?
We'll get right back to you.
You'll get back to me? Would you like a sip of my soda? Mayor Bloomberg, why can you defend yourself but not the majority of Americans? I mean, look at the team of security you got. And you're an advocate for gun control? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm counting. There are probably more.
Oh, my. What an interesting standoff that was. Here's Jason Mattera, the man that you just saw in the video. He's a senior investigative reporter for Talk Radio Network and a journalist and author. Jason, good to have you here this morning.
Oh, thanks for having me, Martha.
So, first of all, the soda, just in case you don't know, if you're not from this area, explain why you're carrying a big gulp in your hand and asking the mayor if he wants a sip of your soda.
Because it is over the legal limit right now in New York.
Yes.
It was a 32-ounce soda, and I believe the limit is 16 ounces now for fast food restaurants. So the only illegal substance within that area was the soda. I just wanted to make sure that Mayor Bloomberg is properly hydrated as he goes and faces the challenges of New York City.
That. So they came after you. What did they do?
Yeah, after we posed, I think, is a very straightforward question to Mayor Bloomberg, as he is this deep-pocketed and prominent advocate for gun control. Will he lead by example and disarm his entire personal SWAT team around him? Clearly, he won't. After that exchange, Bloomberg's security guards actually followed us. One identified himself as an NYPD officer, presumably who is armed, and he was trying to get me to show my driver's license. When I told him he didn't have jurisdiction, he said, "Oh yeah, I have security jurisdiction here," which is there is no legal security jurisdiction.
Okay.
He was just making that up. Then he followed me a block further and asked for my date of birth.
Followed you a block away from the scene that we just saw.
Well, 2 blocks in general. He followed me a block to question me after I talked to Bloomberg, and then he followed me a block after that to try to get my date of birth. Like I'm going to give him my date of birth.
All right, so let's go back to sort of the center of this. Is it fair to ask a public official like that? Don't you expect them to have security around them? He's the mayor of New York City.
Sure, I don't begrudge Mayor Bloomberg to have security, armed security at that. But I also expect him, if he's going to have security for his personal protection, not to restrict the right of Americans, not just those in New York, but he's coordinating with the Obama administration to push gun control at a national level and actually fund candidates to counterbalance the NRA candidates. So if security and armed security is good for him, I expect it for that single mother in New York City who's concerned about thugs and wannabe thugs who are going to rob her home.
But she can have a gun. She can legally have a gun and carry it.
Well, she can have a gun, but it's restricted the number of rounds in the magazine. So right now, NYPD, the standard issue firearm, has 15 rounds in a magazine. Now in New York, you can only have 7. Well, I'm sorry, burglars don't just rob homes by themselves. Usually they have partners, and they're not going to follow any directive. Oh, please, if you're going to rob this home, just do it by yourself. Don't have 2 or 3 or 4 people with you. I think Americans, not the government, should determine how many bullets they need to defend their person, their property, and their family.
What do you think his answer would have been if you gotten through to him for why he deserves and a public official deserves? And I think you're right, and most Americans agree that you want the president, you want these public officials to be protected. What do you think his answer would be to that question? But why not? Why would you restrict some other people in their way of protecting themselves?
I don't think he would have a legitimate one. I mean, New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg he's a bored billionaire. He wants to regulate our soda sizes, our salt content, telling you what butter you can cook your food with. You have calorie counts. I mean, this man thinks he knows best, not just when it comes to firearms, when it comes to daily living, bike lanes all over the city that are causing congestion everywhere. So what his response will be, listen, peasant, I know what's best for you. You don't know what's best for your own life, and you certainly don't know what's best to protect yourself, your family, and your property from would-be harm and burglars.
By the way, your big gulp is good till March, I'm being told.
Is it? Till March?
Yeah, the big gulp is good till March. So order up 7-Eleven, get yourself a big gulp today, and enjoy it, because you won't be able to have one of those. You'll be able to have a couple of different cups, I think, right? You can keep pouring, but
so
the cup has to be smart.
Yeah, exactly. So there's loopholes in the soda ban, is what you're saying, Martha.
Thank you, Jason. Good stuff. Very interesting. Good to have you here.
Clever
Jason
man.
Mattera.